All right, guys, we got Clem in the bottom right side of the map. It's the grand finals, the Liuli Weekly $400 Cup Classic in the top left side of the map. It is, of course, a battle of the rivals. But guess what? New patch is out. Yesterday, Clem played his first tournament on it, the Pigstarcraft Weekly, got 3-0, got destroyed by Hero. Didn't play his best games. Flew a Widowmine drop directly into 4 Stalkers, got it killed. You know, he had some little mistakes like that throughout. Was losing Hellions to Adepts unnecessarily, just little micro mistakes. So it does feel like maybe Clem's played a bunch of customs on this already, even before it's released and in the day since it's released. And I didn't feel in that series like his confidence was very high. I'm hoping it's just because he was up late at night and was tired and just wasn't playing his best StarCraft. But we're going to have to find out because I really want to see where is PvT. Storm has 0.5 less effective cast range. That's when you account for 1 less actual cast range, but it's got an increased radius. The problem for Terran right now is that Storm lasts for such a very long time, so you're really going to need to either use libs or tanks to focus High Templar down before they get in range, or you're going to need to pre-spread like a madman, or simply do moving battles where you kind of move away from the High Templar and kite backwards in a way, but I think the normal just kind of standing in a blob, baiting the storm just on the edge of it and then pulling away, that's very dangerous and you're going to have to be really careful if that's what you're relying on. Now this SCV should just go to the inside of the mineral line and repair. The running in circles is a little odd, but I guess he doesn't want to waste another SCV's mining time to repair this one. And there we go, SCV can now go back to mining. Good micro for Clem. It's going to be 2 Reapers into a factory double gas opening, so he wants to play aggressive against Classic. Keep in mind, guys, energy recharge has been nerfed. 50 energy. For 50 Nexus energy. It'll give 50 energy to a unit, so it's a flat trade in that regard. But also you've got a 45-second cooldown, slightly faster cooldown, but it's still gonna, if you go for an early sentry, give you 2 hallucinations before the 4-minute mark. Gives you enough information to explore just about everything. Yeah, a lot of theory crafting about where this patch will go. I think as long as there's a follow-up, it's a good patch. If there's no follow-up, it's a bad patch. But we just need those follow-up changes to fix bugs and adjust some numbers. I do think Storm's a bit ridiculous right now. Ooh, Reaper goes down. Unnecessary, but I guess he was trying to defend this SCV, right? And now he ends up getting bullied off the command center anyway. Oh, no. This is very similar to what was happening against Hero. Okay, he does keep this alive this time. I think a Reaper for an Adept is an okay trade, but he's got to repair that, and he's got to do it quickly. Another Adept's going to come straight in here. Absolute mad lad. Classic. Are you sure, mate? Classic's going to lose that Adept. And you can see, that's actually really bad for Classic. Great for Mr. Clem there. He's got 2 Reapers and 2 Hellions. He's going to go for Widowmine drop up next. 1 more Adept at home, and it's straight Blink opening, so no sentries. Classic going away from the energy recharge and saying, I'm just going to chrono probes and gateway units, mostly gateway units this game, which is fair enough. He said, nah, it's not as good anymore. I'm going to avoid using that. So you could still do a sentry opening, but it's going to be maybe a little bit less common. Here we go, guys. Reaper, Hellion, dancing. Get themselves a guy, but we are going to lose a Reaper. Almost, but not quite. Good pullback. Great pullback there for Clement. Clement. Uh-oh. Oh, he's gonna try and fight on the ledge. Don't think he can chase that down. He's going to lose a lot of Reapers here if he keeps chasing. Stalkers are expensive units. Reapers and Hellions are kind of cheap, crappy units. That's like 3 units for a Stalker, you know? Here we go. Widowmine drop does come in. Stalkers are on the natural, not in the main. He's going to get some good mining time. That Hellion will have to get out of there as well. Oh, he tries to attack it. Crazy choice there for Classic. Oh, he burrows in the middle of the mineral line. Do we see the old unburrow trick? Yes, we do. Dude, great denials here by Clem, but I think he's going to lose one of these. And actually, he's going to lose 2 before that. Oh, no, he won't. No, he won't. Hey, he gets 3 probes. Not bad. Really good Widowmine drop harassment here for Clem. Kind of dancing circles around Classic early on in this game. Gets that Widowmine out as well. Medevac untouched. Overall, fantastic start. Units lost tab 270 in his favor. Doesn't even account for the lost mining time. That being said, this was a double gas opening. And he missed a depot. Had to do a supply drop. So, not perfect play for Clem. He will be going into the Raven and whatnot. Hellion dying on the map. A little unfortunate there, as that could have been waiting at the 3rd base to deny a probe. He's got a tank in a beautiful position with this bunker. Those Stalkers have to get out. Second tank, siege back here. He's too far forward. Do not siege there. Do not siege there. Here. Okay. Pulls it back a little bit. Got to be careful because these Stalkers will blink in momentarily. I think that's decent enough placement. And it looks like it's going to be a 4 Stalker drop for Classic. Clem has got a 4th gas going down, +1 weapons. No doubt a reactor will come down when he hits 50 gas for that starport. And those Stalkers will drop in. Tank gets a shot off very early, but he doesn't have a lot of Marines and Marauders, which means 2 SCVs go down, 3 SCVs and a Marine. That's a great trade for just a bit of shields and hit points on those Stalkies. Ooh, medevac roaming. Still got that Widow Mine available. We do have a Templar Archives that just finished. Charges on the way. Classic staying very 2-base heavy to go into Storm to try and keep himself alive through to that next stage. Here we go. Widow Mine drop comes in, and Stalker blinks after him. He's going to go into the main. He gets a great scout. And unfortunately, though, I think Clem stayed a bit too long here. And he does take a lot of damage. That medevac's down to just 2 hit points from death. I like how Classic's being patient with his Stalkers. Then again, that tank's very far back. Oh, he's going to go for the tank. Blinks in, and he's going to take the tank out. Does save the Stalkers. Doesn't lose a single Stalker. Really clean play there. Got to be careful, though. Clem's very good at focus firing, so if that red hit point Stalker stayed out of the prism for much longer, the bunker could have retargeted on it. So far, though, very good. Gets a tank for just shields. Guys, don't be attacking each other's ranks. Just cleanly and calmly explain to each other the stats that you guys are talking about. People balance arguing in the chat. And just be clear. You know, if someone says something a bit irky at you, just explain yourself a bit more. Give each other the benefit of the doubt. New patch just came out, guys. So a bunch of StarCraft gamers who are the height of emotional control. Gonna have some really balanced discussions, I'm sure. Dude, that was a kill! Gets the pylon, gets the kill on the Nexus. Wow, Clem's all over him. Clem's 3rd command center is finished. If he keeps macroing, he's miles ahead in this game. Unless Storm is wildly OP. Which I don't think it is. Oh, wait. Oh, this army's going to get caught. Okay, good catch for Classic. Loses the base, but he gets rid of all these units. Auto turrets come in from the side. Get themselves a High Templar snipe. Why was Clem's army here, guys? Why didn't Clem just send his army left during that? I guess there's no medevacs with it, but that was so weird that he didn't get that dropout. And this army tried to, like, reinforce by moving to here, but it's blocked. It can't move across there. I think that was a misplay. Also, his 3rd command center didn't lift out and only just started making into an orbital. Uncharacteristic mistakes here for Clem. I still think with such a late 3rd for Protoss, it should be good for him. Ghosts are coming out. Remember, Ghosts are now 2 supply. Heads up, guys. Make sure if you use a female Ghost skin, you swap to a male Ghost skin. Part of Blizzard's policy at the moment is inbuilt sexism. Apparently stealing breast milk wasn't enough, so with this patch they've made it so somehow, what I've heard, you guys can confirm if this is fake news or not. I haven't actually tried it since I don't use the lady ghost skins. I don't think, actually I think I might use one of them, but I haven't played with them. Apparently they've still got the pre-patch stats, whereas the male ones actually have the changes on them as intended. Oh, Stalker's trying to set off the Widow Mines. Good micro by Classic. Bio needs to come forward a little bit. Oh, he hits the Prism, though. Oh, you got to be careful, Classic. Pre-spread. Please pre-spread. Clem, you have to pre-spread. These storms are gigantic. You can't be getting away with this way you've been doing things, my friend. Zoning storms come down. High Templar are able to escape the Ghost Marauder, though. Clem just absolutely hates pre-spreading, though. He loves to keep his units in a big blob. And that was often the best way to do things, but I think more and more with the Giant Storm, that's going to be a problem. Triple drop goes left. Triple drop goes left. Oh, no. Oh, if Classic goes left, he can catch it, but no, he's going to miss it. Oh, okay, good for Clem. If Clem can unload in the shadows and then come in out of nowhere, kill Forge, kill Robobay, that could be amazing, but I think the Watchtower is going to give him warning. He doesn't activate the Watchtower, so the drops sneak by. Then again, he's pushing into the 3rd, and Clem's just moved out with his whole army. He lost track of the Protoss. He needs to run. This is going to turn into a bit of a sort of base trade type scenario. Command center gets lifted. SCVs run. Oh, the Prism goes down. The drop gets in the main. +1 did just finish, but oh, the Storm lands. Clem's not watching. Surprisingly slow reaction there for Clem, but he does pick up. Only loses a couple of units. And what's he really lose? 8 workers? Gets rid of the Robobay and the Forge, which are both really good snipes. Double Forge will go down afterwards. All right, I think Clem's still in a decent spot, but you can see just the 5 High Templar gathering energy. There is one Colossus out on the field, but Classic's Robotech has been reset a little bit there. A couple of Stalkers get taken out by Marauders and EMP. Clem here, happy to hold his ground. For those who don't know, the Storm is down from about 26 DPS to 23 DPS, so very similar damage per second, but double the duration and a larger radius means it's much bigger. Ghosts, EMPs. Oh, watch out! Ghosts, one of them goes down, the other one does survive. Careful with the Storm! You cannot be eating Storm. Oh, the Storms do go down. Now remember, the Storm hangs around a long time, which means your Zealots will chase into it sometimes. That can be nasty. Widowmines get some good shots, but Terran Bio Armor, you can't be dancing on the edge of Storm like that! Oh! Clem's Muscle Memory Micro, I think he's eating way too much Storm here. He keeps walking through the Storm! Something that we've seen Hero do the exact same thing. The pro gamers are so used to Storm running out after 3 seconds. 15 years of playing with a 3-second Storm, it becoming 6 seconds. And you can really see players kind of just not quite being used to it yet. It's going to take a bit of adjusting here. It's less than 24 hours into this patch going live. Clem's second tournament finals already, though, in that time. Auto turret's going to be annoying, but not really achieve much. He's going to have to go back to the dead space. 4th Command Center is now building earlier than the 4th Nexus, which is good for Clem. Units lost tab is 1,000 in favor of Classic, though, which is pretty darn good. I think from here, Clem's got double ups as well. He's going to go for more barracks. You know, I really don't think more barracks helps, especially with Psystorm. Like, this feels like I was calling for range libs as the hard counter to Classic because he doesn't know how to play against them very well. No one did it. Pre-patch, post-patch, it makes more sense than ever. If he's got Mass Storm that just fills up the screen, like, what is more Marine Marauder Ghost going to do for you? Nothing. You need to go something. Surely, I don't know, man. I just feel like go a Fusion Core instead of these 3 barracks. I guess he doesn't have the gas for it until this 4th base is down. But I really think instant gases on the 4th and try to get out those libs pretty quickly because I don't know, man. The Storm's going to be so good against Vikings, against your bio. Like these units, oh, it's going to be hard. Whereas libs are a pretty good answer to High Templar as long as you don't siege them all directly on top of each other, where the Storms can stack too bad. Excuse me. Stalker's going to poke forward, grab themselves a Widow Mine. Clem's going to 8 barracks. If Clem wants to play this 8 barrack style, he needs to be active on the map. He can't be defensive. So he needs like half of his army to be split pushing, I think. Bunker does defend on the left, really nicely done, especially with the Widow Mine. There is an Observer there. Remember, guys, Surveillance mode reveals Observers now, but it gives them insane vision. That Observer can see down here if he sieges it up. So one of the best things you can do as a pro is you just move your Observer up and you siege it up and then you unsiege it and run away. Like, you just basically, you kind of like ping your opponent with it. You kind of go, oh, I see you, and then you unsiege it, turn it invisible, and drive it away. So we haven't seen pros use that yet, but I guarantee you months down the line, players will start using that. Because the vision is like 15 vision when it, further than a siege tank shoots by 2 when it sieges up. So it's incredibly powerful. Extra Robo's coming in. That's a second Robo. No extended thermal. No, he does have extended thermal lance. 3-2 upgrades to Protoss. 3-2 upgrades or +2 armors finishing for Terran. So Terran's a bit ahead. Clem doesn't quite have the gas for the +3. He's got the Fusion Core, the second starport now. As he's going, so it's 6 command centers into that starport transition. I know most Terrans in the past have felt like you need +2 to make libs work. It's a big misconception. It helps a lot. It's a very good bonus. It's a great power spike, but they're a very good unit before that as well. The real counter to libs is catching them unsieged and attacking where the libs aren't, right? They're a siege unit. Much like siege tanks or lurkers, it's not really about how quickly a lurker kills an Archon or a Stalker. It's about whether you can actually force the Archon or the Stalker to engage into the lurker. It's much the same with Liberators. Really important to actually get a good position. +2 ship weapons is on the way. Clem's maxed out now. Similar work accounts for both sides. 25 Zealots, 4 Archons, 4 Colossus, 10 High Templar. 10 High Templar. So I think one of the cool things about the energy recharge patch is I think it's really taught Protoss players how useful it is to have extra reserve kind of banks of High Templar energy. Now, to be fair, I think his are way too clumped. He's got like 8 High Templar all on his main army group, which is kind of gross to look at. But Classic's normally pretty good at spreading those. Comes in, storms the left side, bunker repair SCVs go down. These Marauders get caught in the middle. He's going to have to try and pull those away. Clem, get them out. It's a bunch of units that go down. And look at this. Classic dives on that base. So this little attack distracts him, does a big storm that actually does a fair amount of damage. And then he just dives in the middle and snipes the planetary. And you can't engage because, look, he's just going to storm you out. He just throws a few storms down. Can't walk through that. You can't walk through. Clem's trying to walk through the storms. Ladies and gentlemen, he does land EMPs on the High Templar, but he's already eaten way too much storm. Classic, using the zoning power of storm. I mean, it all comes down to this little distraction army. Look at this, guys. This army distracts. Clem moves to respond. Immediately, Classic says any hole's a goal. Catches Clem in a bit of disarray. And I would have loved Clem to already either have a bunch of libs up or be the guy who's got a third of his army doing the same sort of move that Classic just did. Stimming in, trying to pick things off. Hard to do, but would have loved to see it. As it is, nice timing for Classic. I think this is Classic's heyday, this point in the game. Pre-Sky Toss, pre-Range Lib, Colossus Stalker Storm. I mean, it's such a good setup for Classic, and he's a beast of doing it. He wins game 1. GG, well played. Alright. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Game 2 is now underway. Of course, Classic dominating game 1. Clem, I'd love to see when he's on the back foot going for those Liberators a bit faster or something like that. They are much more responsive now, so it'd be cool if he shows those. Especially if he finds himself up against the wall. I always think, 5th Command Center, 6th Command Center, very nice. But if you're struggling to survive Colossus Storm, and we know for a fact that Classic is not good past the Storm Colossus stage compared to some other Protoss players who are real masters of endgame. I'm not saying he's bad, but Classic is exceptionally strong at Colossus Storm. Exceptionally strong. And I think you've got to drag him into deep waters sometimes. We know he's not as strong against Mech, not as strong in the end game once range libs are out. But you give him that kind of early, late game, oof, he's hard to beat, man. So we definitely want to kind of check out what's going on. Clem, of course, is the faster of the two players, so Classic will be doing his classic shield batteries, stalkers, sentries, potentially Stargate units to really make sure any Clem aggression does not get room to get going. And this has been the secret to Classic's success against Clem of late, is don't give him a chance to get momentum. Because if you do, he starts to run over the top of you way too quickly. Now, Command Center is going to go down in the high ground here, 217, single Reaper into Reactor after a very quick factory has gone down. That first Reaper comes in, Depth pushes it back, Stalker behind it. This looks like a very straight up Twilight Council build from what I can tell. Depth shades forward, pushes the Reaper back. Reaper's going to get out. It's nice. After casting Maestros where I had no observer control, no camera control, to be able to actually look where I want. Twilight Council and the natural wall off. Reaper hasn't seen it yet either, so that's kind of cool that he's done a good job zoning with his units. Reaper should now be able to spy what's going on, and indeed, we did see Clem click it. You see the red circle that popped up around it just for a fraction of a second was him clicking on it and confirming, ah yes, that is a Twilight Council. Meanwhile, Classic spots the command center on the high ground. You have a Cyclone and a Medevac. Nothing untoward for either side. Very standard, solid play. One Adept, two Stalkers are out. Second Gateway in the wall off. Now my question is, do we go for a Robo, or does Classic try to squeeze that very quick third base in? He skimped on the shield battery in the main base. Hasn't got a Robo just yet. Of course, he's going for the sentry. He doesn't have the gas. He's going to have 100 gas in a moment. And already third Gateway. And it looks like he's waiting for the 150 minerals for the Robo. Okay, 3-gate Robo Blink. Very safe. And of course, Clem, a guy who loves to just try to YOLO at his opponents. Indeed, he's going to pick up a tank and go for an all-in. This is the perfect setup for Classic to defend in terms of production. The question is, how does the first fight go? Because this shield battery is very far back, and if a tank gets sieged here, it's in range of a lot of your important buildings and infrastructure. Clem also could just go and attack this ledge. Cybercore, Gateway, Pylon, even 2 pylons exposed. That's a lot. Orbital's finally going up on the natural, but Clem, he's not focused on the economy. He's only on 24 workers against 39. Classic, he may have 3 gateways in a Robo, but actually the Robo and the third gateway are both kind of late here. Cyclone already knocks a fair bit of the healing energy off of that battery. It's kind of a shame Clem came from this side. The other side might have allowed him to deny Blink. It almost certainly would have, actually. But there we go. He's trying to fight as best he can. Vikings landed. Blink is 5 seconds out. And I think Classic should just, yeah, gets Blink out. He blinks forward now. That does mean he's out of range of Guardian Shield. The tank does fall, but a lot of Protoss units will go down as well. Cyclone does fall back. Guardian Shield is finally gone when that sentry gets focused down. But I think a pretty successful hold so far for Classic. He's only lost one gateway. Blink is ready. You can see just the ability to close the distance and get on top of the tank is such a big part of this. That being said, if you can get a whole bunch of probes as Clem, that's where you can turn this into a proper transition. Get through to one of the Stalkers. Another Stalker so close to going down. If he focuses that Stalker, and he does with the Cyclone, Viking doing so much. There's a new tank and a new Viking. Oh my gosh, is he can actually snowball this to a victory? I thought the initial hold might have been good enough, but Classic should have pulled probes earlier. And I think if he did, he could have held this on. But as it is, Clem is going to be able to roll over the top just barely with the tank Viking Marine pressure. The starport building the medevac, very essential for boosting the tank across, for healing the Marines. But then the fact that you can still use that starport to just produce one unit at a time is so good. That siege tank needs to just run if it wants any chance of getting out of here. He's going to turn it around for a second. The Stalker will take care of it. And you can see that Immortal back to the shield battery safety. Energy recharge, I think, is ready. And we are going to be seeing, indeed, it gets recharged. Immortal's going to take out the tank. I don't know why Clem's still rallying into this, but I guess he gets the Immortal. And he does know that Classic is in such a low economic position that he's kind of screwed. But Classic now gets all these units. And more Marines rallying in. Apparently, Clem is in a giving spirit. Is it Christmas or something? Just wants to gift units. And this is something I've noticed in Clem's play. Clem's TVP has been incredibly sloppy lately. Still a very good player. I still consider him, you know, highest skill level Terran. But in this matchup, there are times where it feels like his ability to choose when to commit and when to run away has dropped. I don't know if you guys agree with this, but it feels to me like he's overstaying when he doesn't need to. And he's overcommitting when, you know, with like harassment as well. Same thing. Goes in when he doesn't need to. There's moments where pulling back would be so exceptional. And it just feels like just a little bit of that slight optimization with how safe he is with his armies would make him so much more successful. Now, he's of course worried about a blink into the high ground. 2 tanks, a few Marines, and a Viking on the natural. Going to be kind of scary to blink into that. And of course, Classic is pretty much dead in the water. He's going to go for the Robo Bay. Disruptors do have a 4-second faster cooldown this patch. Storm, of course, seems to be massively buffed in that it lasts twice as long. 140 damage over 6 seconds as opposed to 80 damage over 3 seconds, which is massive. Here we go. Stalkers are going to dive. Wow, there's like Marauders and Vikings there. Are you crazy? Classic goes for broke, but the only thing that gets its back broken is his Stalkers as they step into that Terran base. And yes, you kill 2 tanks, but for what? You've lost 18 Stalkers this game. A whole bunch of them went down there. The Viking will take care of the Observer. He's going to blink on the high ground, but that's like red hit point Stalkers. That is pure desperation. I think Classic knows with no third base, he is a desperate Protoss, and he wanted to try and trade, find damage before Stim and Shields was done. Now that Stim, Shields, and Medevacs are coming out, he is deadzos. This happens when a player is not confident in playing a longer game. Happens to every ladder, Zerg basically, says KTLL. Yeah, for sure. And I think Clem's confidence has clearly taken a hit. So it's not like it's just out of nowhere. I'm like, Clem's just playing like an idiot for no reason. It's just, it does feel like he's trying to force it a bit too much sometimes. And especially with the new patch coming out, I get Storm is really, really good. On the other hand, energy recharge is much worse. There's a lot less storms available early on. So I do still feel like in the early build-up stage, it's still quite fragile for Protoss. Because any storm that gets wasted, oh, Prison with 4 Stalkers and it goes down, that's brutal. But every storm that's like wasted, not, you know, that you bait out and doesn't really achieve much, is really costly if they open storm. And that's probably part of why Classic's gone Colossus here. Down at 50 supply. He's going to try and make some magic happen. Unfortunately, right now, the only magic is the power of the Crucio Shock Cannon blasting that Colossus to little itty bits. And, of course, Classic's going to dance there. Clem mana muled in the last game. Well, is it really a mana mule? He dropped a mule as he GG'd. basically like, ah, this time Classic dances as he GGs, and the series is tied up 1-1. All right, going into the next one, guys. Clem in the bottom left side of the map. He's tied up the series with some very heavy aggression. That's a build. That last one he did is actually really good on this map as well, because this ramp's really hard to get down, especially if Protoss builds these buildings to wall off. I do wonder if something like a Hellion drop sneaks into his mind. We don't see that very often from Clem these days. It is a double gas build order once again. Going to be a quick factory. Classic might be opting for a little bit more safety this time around. Maybe an early sentry to check what's going on. Didn't utilize energy recharge in that early game to get the scouting last time. Maybe libs are worth getting semi-early. I think Liberators off of... I mean, it's the same thing I was saying even before the change is... For sure, libs are so much more mobile than they used to be. They're going to be much better at using in large numbers to quickly go siege your opponent, or even if you're stuck defending with the libs and the Protoss is like running over here, you quickly siege, but then he runs over here, you quickly siege. Libs are going to be much better in their maneuverability, but the less vision, I'm very curious like how much impact that makes. I think the bigger the fights and the more scans and the more late game it is, the less the vision hurts you and the more it's an overall buff for Terran late game. But we'll see how much it hurts when you're on the way there, because losing the vision on the lib, really, it's big, and it means the harassment's much weaker. If you're going to do it semi-early, like you guys were saying in chat, I still think after 3 base. Like, probably 4th command center, then get the fusion core and go for the lib range would be the way to do it. Pig, do you think Storm is a buff? I think it's a pretty massive buff, yeah. Energy recharge has been straight up nerfed, which is good. But I mean, it's almost the same damage per second, the Storm, but it lasts twice as long and has a bigger radius. That's crazy. Of course, it's a huge buff. Especially the bigger fights get, the later it gets. It does have less cast range, 0.5 less effective cast range, which is not bad. Yeah, it's like just going to be so good. They're like, you know, if you're like defending here as Protoss, right, and Zerg army's trying to come through, your Storms defending this choke point are going to be like incredible. Like it's going to feel, I really worry about Zerg mid-game timings against Protoss. I'm kind of just like, dude, those Storms are just going to friggin' blanket everything. I don't know. It's going to be, there will be less of them early, but then you're just going to cover so much space with them that it's going to be kind of hard to get through, for sure. There we go. There we go. Hellion's poke, but there is a shield battery in both bases, and this is what I was talking about. Classic does love to go for the double battery, and I think he's done such a good job this game. You know, he saw everything that was happening. Shield battery in each bases, in each one of his bases. He's just defending 4 gateway units off of a single gateway. Second gateway comes up. Now he goes 4 gases on 2 base, which tells us he's going to drop a Templar Archives pretty soon. Yeah, look how early that is. 4-minute Templar Archives, my gosh. Clem, I hope you are prepared. I do wonder if we're going to see Terrans splitting their army a bit more, rather than microing in a blob. That's going to be really interesting. Happy October, everybody. Hope you're all having a good time. Do you guys think he goes straight charge? I imagine Storm pretty early. Yep, Storm immediately. Clem's still building tanks. Okay, so Clem is building a 3rd tank. Oh, this looks highly aggressive for him. He's only now building an engineering bay, no starport. Oh, he's going for a big all-in. But Storm's going to be ready as he gets there. And Storm could absolutely ruin his day, because I think he's trying to get in there before Storm's ready. And not just this, the Reaper Hellion has, I don't know if he spotted the Stalkers moving out. They could pick off a lot of Marines on the move across this map. 3rd gas, starport, factory floating. All these things happening is nice. It's a good 3 tank push, but I think Classic's 2 base build may be perfect against this. Now, in theory, Clem is going to need to realize what's up and just make sure he doesn't throw his army away. But already, look at this. Ooh, one Stalker goes down for 3 Marines. That's an okay trade. The Reaper Hellion's actually much faster than the Stalker, so they can chase these units down now that they're so heavily damaged. Hellion Reaper will want that red hit point Stalker before he backs away. I don't know who's lagging, guys, but someone is. Unless I just paused the game, but this is not a replay, which is why I'm wondering how I'm possibly pausing the game. Oh, Wardy! Wardy was crashing. Oh, no. G-Li-B-Li, Ward-Eye Gaming. Oh, my God. Watch out. The storm. It's ready. It's no, Clem. Spread. Run. He sieges a bit too close. Charge might not be ready. But, dude, look at that. That storm, and he runs straight back into it. Wardy was saying earlier on his stream, Clem keeps walking straight back into storm, and even there he runs away through storm. I think... yeah. If he sieged his tanks a bit further back and then pre-spread his units a lot, that could have been good. But you absolutely cannot be microing your bio in a ball against this storm. I mean, this storm is crazy, guys. We know this storm is crazy, right? It's so big, but it has a bit of a lesser range and stuff. If you can focus the High Templar down with the siege tanks, that's going to be good. But a lot of the top players are having a lot of trouble with the duration of storm being so much longer that their muscle memory is like confused. I've seen Hero already multiple times chase a Terran army after storming it, and his own High Templar have walked through storm and killed themselves. It's actually like, it's kind of hilarious to watch, because people are used to 3-second storm, it's 6-second storm, you know? There's just, people's instincts are kicking in. We've played with the exact same size storm for 15 years, and changing it now means people's muscle memory is in tatters. Classic should be able to finish him off here, I believe. He's doing like enough damage to be really good. I guess he's got more storms. Yeah, I was like, surely there's more storms coming, right? And that's where things do get very rough. Funny thing is when the Protoss player storms, at least he can't chase you for a second. Going to try and focus these units with the high ground advantage. Very well done by Clem. That was really well done. Holding the high ground so he didn't have vision. That's what allowed him to survive there. Clem does have a third command center coming up at the same time as the third Nexus. I just don't think he has enough firepower. His Marauders are a little bit wounded. They do have concussive at least. Widowmine gets a decent first shot. Archon, very good against the SCVs. Storm comes in as well. And man, this is absolutely nasty. Classic ripping the economy apart. The Archon finally goes down for 15 workers. Here comes another Zealot wave, and Classic knows he's just got a bit too much of an advantage this game. Going for the 2-base Storm Rush was perfect against specifically the style of play that Clem was going for. I'm going to need to check the replay when it ends. Did he see the 3 barracks factory? I know he scouted before that, but I missed the hallucination that scouted the 3 barracks factory. And it was the perfect response if he did scout it. Otherwise, he was just playing super safe blind, which is also valid. And the Marauders coming forwards. So I kind of said in my balance video today on the main channel, if this patch goes through like this, just because they want more testing, I'm actually okay with this insanity. As long as we get a follow-up patch in a few weeks, at most a month, addressing the most egregious numbers and fixing things, then that's okay. Because not many people test the PTR. Problem, if we don't get another patch for a year with these numbers, holy fudge. It's going to be like the worst thing ever for StarCraft. So that's where my mind's at in terms of this. And it looks like indeed he did see the extra barracks coming down early, guys. He saw it very early, which is what informed him for going for Storm. Nice play by Classic. All right, guys. Wow. What? He's played Protoss! Oh my god, Clem swapping a Protoss. Protesting against the giant storms, I guess. I don't know, man. I like, don't get me wrong. There are still issues with PvT in that, like, the hallucination still has so much vision. Storm is obviously crazy good, but I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. We did have a little issue with a Big Gay Bob, our lovely viewer. After the Gable series, I could sort it out, mate. For now, we're going to focus on casting this, as we're about to see Sentry, Stalker, Virgin expand for Clem, up against Chad expand for Classic. Classic sees its one gate. Wait, did he not realize it was Protoss? Oh my god, I don't think Classic realized it was PvP, guys. He did a PvT opening. Did Clem not tell him he was race swapping? Did he chuck a Scarlet? Oh my god, so for those who don't know, chucking a Scarlet is where you don't tell them that you're changing race. And sometimes the player doesn't notice on the load screen that your race has changed. She did this to DRG at MLG. Dongregu, and then he said, oh, he noticed that she was Protoss on the load screen and said, oh, I think you picked the wrong race, restart, yeah? She's like, no, I'm playing Protoss. And he was like, what the fuck? Because nobody Nobody off-raced at that time. Excuse my French. Second gateway is going to come up for Classic here, but Clem, if he'd gone Proxy Robo or something, would have been a free win. I actually think the build order of Classic works out perfectly against how Clem's playing. So Classic has kind of stumbled into the optimal opening, I believe. Yeah, with the battery up, he should be fine as long as he doesn't get force fielded out there or anything. Not really worth force fielding that, I don't think. Gets himself a probe. Yeah, I know Clem did lose 3-0 to Hero in Pigasaur, but he played very poorly in Pigasaur. So I don't know if Clem's like protesting, but I think Clem doesn't realize like the energy recharge nerf is significant, and I really think he could be playing much better TVP right now. I'm not saying it's necessarily fair or this or that, but I'd love to see him just trying to play as optimally as he can TVP. Comes in, gets himself a sentry there. Does cost a lot of energy, but hey, both sides have to use a lot of energy. It is what it is. He's now outnumbered, though. I think he's got to leave. Sentries do decent damage, but they mostly do damage against shields. So once you're focus firing the way Clem was, he actually reduced his overall damage output because the sentry was focus firing the units that he wanted to kill, and that loses them their +4 bonus damage. Whereas if the sentries were just A-moving on whatever unit still had shields, they could have done more overall damage output. Of course, arguably focus firing is a little bit better. I'm not going to say it was definitely worse for Clem, but it did definitely lower his overall damage output. Units lost at the end of all that is in favor of Classic, who's also up 7 probes. So Classic got a pretty big lead right now, guys. And it looks like in the Liuli Cup, we are about to see a very nice advantage for Classic here. Yeah, the problem with the Clem Hero series, because I was like, I do expect this to be very good for Protoss with Storm being so amazing, but and Terran not really getting any new toys. But I don't know. I just want to see Clem play like really sick Terran and then still lose. I want there to be less obvious mistakes from him for me to draw some more conclusions, you know? So, kind of a shame that he swapped to Protoss here and then got the worst end of it. Hallucination sees the Dark Shrine. Already got an Observer on the way as well. Oof. Nothing going right for Clem in this one. My man. My phone is buzzing at me. Big Gay Bob seems to have found the appropriate donate button. No worries. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll read those out later. Forge coming up for both sides. Immortal on the way for Classic. Now, remember, Clem is one of the best Blinkstalker multitaskers in the world. We've seen him out multitask max packs in PvP Blinkstalker Wars. So there's part of me that was kind of like getting down there because I was thinking, oh man, we're going to see another finals end with a half-hearted, you know, race swap. And race swapping into a mirror matchup is never really a good idea. You're just not going to have the same level of experience, but Clem's actually doing pretty well, and I do still have an inkling of hope for him. He's got his own Robo coming up. I think his Forge is ready. There we go, so we can Chrono +1. And he's a little behind in the probes, but it's not so much that it's a foregone conclusion what happens next. That being said, look at Classic's macro. He's adding 3 extra gateways. He's about 45 seconds ahead in this game, I would say, just across the board. DT goes back in, dies to the Blinkstalkers. Very good pick-off. Chat says, Clem's PvP is legitimately very good, just not like Hero or Classic. You can be as good as you want. I guarantee you put Clem into like some of these like proxy robo situations and these really niche weird situations, he's just not going to have the reps. Unless he puts in a year or two of practicing it all the time, he's just not got the reps. Like he will die to more stuff just not being quite as practiced. This is beautiful though. Oh, he wants that Stalker, gets it. Now he's got to get out. Oh, he's going to grab one more as they try to do the recall animation. Damn. Okay, didn't quite get it, but damaged it at least. He's got 4 Stalkers on the left as well. No 4th base, though, for Clem. And Classic adds a 4th and a Templar Archives. So Classic's just doing such a good job of, like, he's moving forward in many different ways. And Clem wants to make the game messy. He wants to make it movement-focused and all this sort of stuff, but Classic split his army nicely. He's got Immortal in charge on the way. This is really, really good. Chat says it's not like he hasn't been playing PvP on ladder. I don't think you guys understand. Like, I get Clem's 10 times a better player than these guys, but You can play PvP on ladder for a few months. It's not the same as playing tournaments for years. It's an entirely different realm of experience, you know. There's a reason why even like Rainer, right? He looked so good at PvZ. He played Serral, the most one-sided stomp we have ever seen, because Serral actually brings out special builds, not just ladder builds. Stalker's going to try and micro up here as well. And right now, Classic is looking unstoppable because he's not leaving any openings. Not any big ones anyway. Still got units covering the right side. He's up here as well in the top left. I mean, Classic's very stable in this matchup. And Clem, from here, I would have liked to see maybe Disruptor. Something a bit flashy, but I guess he's just going to go pure Gateway. The problem is the Archon count grows. That's going to be really hard to maintain. He doesn't have his own Templar Archives yet, though he is up at Gateway, and he's ahead on +2. He's also slightly ahead in Workers as well. He's going to try and get active with Zealot run bys now. These Stalkers, happy to trade one Stalker for an Immortal. Very good trade. And then it's Stalker for Stalker, Stalker for Stalker. And he gets a bonus Zealot on the way out. Zealots come in the left side. They get 2 probes, make it 3 for 3 Zealots, which is not an amazing trade, but it's economic damage, and this is what feels really, really good. Don't get me wrong. If Clem can turn this into a multitasking war, he can beat anyone. Can he do that in PvP at this stage? Archons need to be coming in right now. Like, it's so necessary for Classic to get Archons. Comes in with the Zealot drop, because he should know that Clem's about to go very heavy into the Zealots, and Archons are the counter to that. That was a Zealot or a DT just run in there. Yeah, only 1 DT's died this game. No 5th base for Clem just yet. Would be really nice if he could get that. He's leaving just a few Stalkers in the main. Should build a pylon on the edge as well, just to get a bit more vision. Only 1 cannon on that 4th, so that 4th is wide open to Dark Templar. But as his cannons come in, Clem will be a little more defended. His main and natural do not have cannons, showing just how far behind Clem has been for so long in this game. If he can start +3, that would be amazing. There we go. Oh, dude, his macro is really on point. And he's keeping Classic pinned defensively. Other than that Prism. Unfortunately, Clem, I think, just F2'd. Clem just F2'd. He just chucked a hero. He's going to target the Nexus, which is a good move. Allows him to just get the Nexus and then potentially pull away. Observer snipe for Classic. Prism gets F2'd home here for Classic. No, Classic's going to siege it, try to warp in Zealots. But there is already a cannon there, which is at least the beginnings of a defense for Clem. Oh, Clem's getting caught. Clem's getting caught. Classic's going to chase him down. Let's go. I think Classic there just got a very good fight. Up 1,500 resources. Good distraction. And because Clem, you know, it's so hard for him to cover that angle. That Prism can hit like 3 or 4 different bases. It's just tough, man. And now look at that. He goes in the main. Clem just used a warp it on the right side. Prism goes down. Oh, Classic's using Guardian Shields, Immortals, Archons. The upgrade advantage is not there for Clem anymore. It's equal upgrade. Zealots warp in the main and start plundering Clem's main base. Probes get pulled in. They're not even on a move right now, though they are distracting some of the units. Stalkers will focus down those Immortals. Very nicely done there for Clem. But you can see that his numbers are so low. With that main base getting cleared out, Classic should be able to finish this off. Remember that Classic has an amazing setup off the early game. Choosing to go a 1-gate expand, blind, or not even blind, I think, but just basic. I think it might have been blind, actually. I'll have to rewind because we weren't in the lobby at the very start of the game. But yeah, basically, I think he just kind of got himself in a pretty good spot. Now, Clem does clean up the tail end of this really efficiently, but being down 20 workers, surely that's too much. I don't think a 15 Stalker counterattack can do it. Yeah, Classic's going to keep him at home as well. This is really well done. Clem's efficiency with his Blink Micro is wild. His control is just on another level, but Classic working too many advantages off a favorable start, getting away with the 1-gate expand, giving him far too much of an edge. Stalker Zealot moving in on the left. It's a bit of a desperate attack here, but I think for Clem, it's more of a map control move. We've seen Clem make an amazing comeback against Max Specs. If he could loop around the left and maybe pick off one of these Immortals, that would be amazing. That Zealot got blocked by a warp in. Finds himself a stray Stalker. 5th base goes up for Classic. Classic finding stray Zealots everywhere, though, and that's really good for him. Did Classic? Oh, Classic's +3 just finished. Okay. Upgrades are even. Clem starting the +1 armor now, though. You just can't stand and fight in one big lump is the big problem for Clem. Okay, so Clem distracts with a few Stalkers south, dives north, but he's going to get cornered. Oh, he's going to get cornered. He's got to be careful. He's got units down here that could deny the 5th base, but he's got to run. He's got to play this. If he had an economic advantage, like 70 workers to 60 or something. Ooh, wait. Hold on. There's the economic advantage. He does lose a bunch of Stalkers and Zealots retreating, but he cancels the 5th Nexus. Runs in here. These guys need to get out. He just needs to run those as quickly as he can. He's going to try to run to the ledge, maybe. Those guys get 16 probes, which is really big. Now he's got the economic advantage, but no 5th base. If Clem could get a 5th up, maybe, just maybe, the Zealot Stalker could do it. Still doesn't want to fight head-on into this because Immortal Archon Zealot altogether, really hard for Zealot Stalker to beat in a frontal clash. So Clem's got to try to keep this messy. He's going to split his army up, tries to take a 5th. He should immediately be cancelling that. He's got to give up this ground. Not the fight that he's looking for as the Archons chase him to the right side. These Stalkers do a pretty good job of blinking away. Zealot Stalker trying to engage over there as well. Stalker Zealot. The problem is Classic's ball is still so I just don't think you can deal with this ball. Not with the Guardian Shield in the middle, especially not with that Guardian Shield. Zealot Battery trying to defend. Clem's doing a really good trade here, but he's lost his 3rd in the meantime. Problem is this base trade starting with him only having a handful of units on the enemy side of the map. Now he's bringing his force to bear, but at the same time, Classic's already on his natural and going up into the production of his main. I think this is Classic half a step ahead in the base trade. Should be enough to finish it off. A couple of Zealots and Models and Archons move down here. Clem could recall on these valuable units, maybe. Of course, he's got to get more damage done as well. He can't just do that. He's trying to take out the Robo because he's got a Dark Shrine. Oh, whoa. There are no observers? There's only one observer. Clem needs to warp in Dark Templar, though, if he wants to use that. He's lost his Dark Shrine. Doesn't matter. He's lost his Dark Shrine. Doesn't have any DTs. Does not matter. Probe's going to try and run left. There is a Nexus building in the bottom right. Clem wants to kill all the next side to stop any chance of Classic rebuilding. Classic's grouping up, thinking about a recall. He's not going to be able to do it. I don't think he can recall. He's got probes as well. He's got money, so he can rebuild a Nexus. He's going to have 6 probes. Clem's only got 1. Army supply, 40 advantage. Mostly Zealots for Classic. Should be more than enough. +1 armor did finish for Clem, but Clem's going to tap out. He knows! That's his last building that got found there, guys. That was his last building. We can rewind a few seconds. You can see. I don't think Clem had money to build elsewhere, right? Did he? He did, but he only had 1 probe, so I think he just figured, oh, what the hell. Even if I build a Nexus here, cancel that one. He just knew he was done for, and he taps out. GG, well played, Classic. Finishes off the finals, and Clem, just like before the patch, says, I do not think this patch has fixed PvT, my friends. I am upset. And not even sticking it out as Terran. There were some unforced errors for Clem, but the Storm does seem wild on this patch. And even though the energy recharge, I think, is limiting the number of Storms, I do not think that opinion that Storm is wildly powerful is going to be too out there. GG, well played. Classic, though, still very solid. I think what's most impressive is he doesn't let Clem make the game messy. Doesn't let him get control of the early game, and that's like such a big part of not letting Clem do what he wants to in the game, you know? If you're able to just dictate, as Clem, the fighting and make it scrappy in a micro war, yeah, you're fine. That's just not the case. Notice he checked for proxy barracks, guys. So Classic comes in, sees the probe, and is like, what? And he's like, well, I'm already going for the Nexus. I have to commit to it. It's too late to go second gate Cybercore, so what the hell? Unfortunately for Clem, he assumed that Classic knew he was Protoss and would also be playing 2-gate. So he scouts very late. So Clem's doing a very efficient build, assuming they're playing PvP meta, which is 2-gate versus 2-gate most of the time. He sees the Nexus, and he could have tried to reactively all in, but it would not have been super duper streamlined. And so he's just like, I'll just take my own expansion. But this meant he was just behind in this game. GG, well played. Classic wins the PvP and the PvT 3-1.